Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. The gaming desk is coming along. I'm almost there, so that video is coming very soon. But in the meantime, let's check out the monitor I have installed behind me, the LG UltraGear OLED. This is the 32-inch model. They sent two of them for our setup, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the monitor itself because it's the first OLED gaming monitor I'm showing off on this channel. First of all, I have a mini LED monitor next to my OLED monitor so you can see the difference between the two. Not only that, LG has packed in a ton of features into this monitor, including a dual mode where you can use it at 240 Hz 4K resolution or bump down the resolution and use it up to 480 Hz. On top of that, I'm excited to check out their Pixel sound. It will actually emit from the panel itself. That way you might not need speakers. It'll be a lot more immersive when you're playing your games. But anyways, we are going to take a quick look what comes in the box and then of course, get some hands-on, check out some features. Let's get started. To begin, let's see what we get in the box. First of all, a lot of cables, all of your booklets, limited warranty getting started guide, but also a display quality assurance report. I'm glad they included this. Our AC adapter is pretty big in terms of the brick size. That's okay. It does have a proprietary connection. You get your standard USB cable and HDMI cable, but they include a DisplayPort cable as well. Really happy not every manufacturer does that. Here's the back of our stand. It says UltraGear has a slot for your cable management. Flipping it over, this is where you will connect the back of your monitor. I'll show this off in just a second. Also, your base says LG has grips all around it, plus pre-installed screws. So you just put this piece right in here and screw it in. Just took our LG OLED out of the box. Flipping it over, this is the bottom of the monitor, and this is where our dual mode switch will be from 240 Hz to 480 Hz by a press of the button. I'm excited to test that out. Plus, all of our ports, including two HDMI, one DisplayPort USB, and then you got two more USB Type A ports, and that's where your power cable goes. Note, you can absolutely mount this as well, as you saw earlier in this video. The panel just connected right to our stand. I want to point out you can tilt it down quite a bit, actually, and tilt it up, and of course move it up and down and left and right. So a lot of versatility if you're planning on using the stand. And just a look at our LG UltraGear OLED, the back panels. Those are lights that you can customize. Quick little sneak peek on our monitor that we've already plugged in. All right, we're all set up and ready to go. We've already got one plugged in. Let's get our second monitor all set up. And here we go, side by side. Obviously our OLED monitor's on the right. Just take a look at how much better that picture looks with the colors and just how deep those blacks, those true blacks actually are. A little more washed out, of course. Again, this is mini LED on the left side, so clearly a big difference. I'm just such a bigger fan of OLED in general. Quick side-by-side with a completely black screen. Obviously, those pixels don't need to be illuminated, so even the text just looks clearer because there's a clear difference in contrast between the pixels on and off. And for the sake of testing not just the blacks, the colors in general, just a little bit more saturated. I do like the way that they look. I tried to line up the videos, I'm a little off, but very clearly you can tell when there's any sort of dark scene, it just doesn't look nearly as washed out as a non-OLED monitor would. Well done, LG, this looks really good. This is an updated design. It's their Unity hexagonal design, L-shaped stand. Want to take a look at what it looks like with the monitor on top of that stand. Very sleek, great looking design. Now I'm going to actually mount this side by side. Having two OLED monitors side by side is actually crazy. I like to game and actually have a video playing on the other monitor often, whether I'm watching a sports game, whether I'm watching a YouTube video, and this makes it perfect because I can take advantage of OLED, not just in the game, but while watching videos. And as expected, gaming is fantastic. With that NVIDIA G-Sync and AMD FreeSync compatibility, everything looks really smooth. You even have a 0.03 millisecond response response time with this UltraGear OLED. Not only that, you get 275 nits of brightness, which is increased from the previous UltraGear OLED model, and they've improved their viewing angles. All of this while playing in 4K resolution as well. However, let's say you want a little bit more than 240 hertz refresh rate. That is possible. Just press that little button below the monitor and it will automatically swap to 1080p 480 hertz. And it actually swapped a little faster than I had expected, and gaming looks great. You'll notice my frames are hitting above 400 FPS, so I'm taking advantage of that higher refresh rate. This is super useful when you play competitively. You need that advantage when you play first-person shooter games and just really high-paced, fast motion games. It does a really good job keeping things very smooth. And of course, because you're at a lower resolution, you can get higher frames and take advantage of that higher refresh rate that you get. Just for fun, I pressed the dual mode button while I was in a game, and it actually swapped it over to the other monitor, and pressing it, it brought the game right back to the right monitor. Pressing the power button in the back gets you to a group of settings. You can change the game mode on the fly, but if you wanted to go all the way into settings, this is where you'll find your dual mode, where you can turn it on and off with not just that button, but also you can swap it to a 27 or 24-inch screen, depending on the game you play, depending on what style screen size you like, which is actually kind of cool, honestly. I know, yes, obviously you have a 32-inch monitor, you want to take advantage of it, but some competitive games are definitely better and easier played on a smaller screen. Of course, adaptive sync with G-Sync and FreeSync. You have a black stabilizer crosshair, FPS counter. Your picture adjusts to change it on the fly. I bumped up my contrast a little bit. I bumped up my brightness a little bit, gamma mode 3. So it just depends. You know, I like my picture a certain way and it looks really good after I mess with it. There's DTS Virtual X, where you can change a specific mode depending on the content that you're watching, change the volume. It does get really loud with those speakers. Finally, there's OLED screen move to protect that panel. It will move the screen slightly at regular intervals. You can change an OLED screensaver and image cleaning as well to provide the clearest image. This is where you can change your hexagon lighting on the back, whether you want static, cycling, depending on the specific color that you're going for. LG does have an app called On-Screen Control to change the settings of your monitor on the fly. You can swap between both monitors so you don't have to keep reaching out and manually adjust those settings we talked about. Oh, and if you click this 5:9 button, it puts it in a 5:9 ratio, and then if you double click on these apps on the side, it will open them up. Might be good for some multitasking. Just a real quick audio test. These panels also have an anti-glare coating, which is helpful with an OLED monitor. When you do have true blacks, you're going to get more reflection. So it's nice that they do have a coating. It doesn't eliminate reflections. That's really just not possible, but you can tell they are heavily reduced as compared to a completely glossy monitor. But I wouldn't say this monitor is necessarily a matte monitor, but you can tell the reflections aren't as strong. Anyways, that is it from me on the LG UltraGear 4K OLED. Really pleased so far using these monitors. They're fantastic when gaming, when watching videos. Those darker scenes just look really good. But a lot more to come. As you can tell, my desk setup isn't complete, so that is in the works. Expect that video very soon. Be sure to subscribe so you're notified. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment, let me know what you think about these two OLED monitors from LG. Thanks for watching.